There's a simple vegetable sitting in your grocery store that has some of the most impressive blood sugar research behind it. And that simple vegetable is broccoli. Now, I know that might sound surprising because we usually think of vegetables as generally healthy, but not necessarily as something that actively changes blood sugar. But broccoli is different because it contains a unique compound called sulforaphane, which has been shown in clinical research to directly improve blood sugar control in very meaningful ways. In fact, one landmark study found that a concentrated form of broccoli sprout extract might actually lower fasting blood sugar and improve A1C in people with type 2 diabetes. In some ways, the effect looked similar to how the medication metformin works, by reducing how much glucose the liver produces. So let's break down what's actually happening in the body in simple terms. First, your liver is constantly producing glucose, even when you're not eating. That's normal. But in insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, the liver becomes overactive and it releases too much sugar into the bloodstream. Sulforaphane helps regulate this process by activating a protective pathway in your cells called NRF2. Think of it like turning down the overproduction signal in the liver, so your body simply releases less excess glucose throughout the day. Second, sulforaphane improves insulin sensitivity. That means your cells respond better to insulin signal to absorb glucose from the bloodstream. In clinical studies, broccoli sprout extract has been shown to reduce insulin resistance in just a few weeks. That matters because insulin resistance is one of the core drivers of type 2 diabetes. Third, broccoli helps reduce inflammation. Sulforaphane blocks a key inflammatory pathway in the body and helps reduce the low-grade stress response that interferes with insulin function. Fourth, it boosts your antioxidant defenses. High blood sugar creates oxidative stress, essentially molecules that damage your cells and tissues over time. Sulforaphane actually turns on your body's own internal antioxidant system, helping protect your cells rather than just adding external antioxidants from food. And fifth, it supports gut health. Research shows that broccoli and broccoli sprouts can positively shift gut bacteria towards species linked with better glucose control and lower inflammation. So this isn't just about a single mechanism. It is a multi-system effect. Liver, insulin sensitivity, inflammation, oxidative stress, and gut health all at once. So let's talk about how to use broccoli in real life. A good daily goal is 1 to 2 cups of broccoli per day when possible. But the real power player here is the broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts are simply young broccoli plants, about 3 to 5 days old, and they can contain dramatically higher levels of sulforaphane than mature broccoli. Even a small handful can make a meaningful difference. You can grow them at home very easily in a jar or in just a few days. Now, preparation matters a lot. Because sulforaphane is sensitive to heat, the way you cook broccoli can either preserve or destroy its benefits. Raw broccoli preserves the most sulforaphane, but there's also a powerful technique called chop and wait. If you chop broccoli and let it sit for 30 to 60 minutes before cooking, you allow the beneficial compound to form first, which helps protect it during light cooking. And if you steam broccoli lightly, just 1 to 3 minutes, you can preserve a good amount of its activity while making it easier to digest. On the other hand, boiling broccoli is the worst option because it destroys the enzyme that makes sulforaphane and it washes nutrients into the water. So, a simple way to add more broccoli into your diet might look like this. At lunch, add raw broccoli or broccoli sprouts to a salad or a protein bowl. At dinner, include lightly steamed broccoli as a side dish. And if possible, chop it ahead of time to let it sit before cooking to maximize benefits. You can use broccoli stalks, which many people throw away. They contain fiber and compounds that support gut health and insulin sensitivity. Now, a few important considerations. Broccoli is very safe for most people, but because it is high in fiber, it can cause gas or bloating if you increase intake too quickly. So, start slowly. If you have thyroid issues or take blood thinners like warfarin, it's important to keep intake consistent and discuss these changes with your doctor. And remember, broccoli is not a replacement for medication or medical care. It is a supportive tool, a small but meaningful piece of a bigger metabolic strategy. So here's the bottom line. Broccoli, especially in the form of sprouts, contains sulforaphane. a compound that helps lower blood sugar by reducing liver glucose production, improving insulin sensitivity, lowering inflammation, and supporting gut health. The science is strong and the key is consistency. If you're working on improving your blood sugar or preventing prediabetes, I've put together a free Reversing Prediabetes toolkit. It walks you through practical step-by-step strategies to stabilize glucose and improve insulin sensitivity in a realistic, sustainable way. If you're interested, you can download it in the bio or the description below.